Hare Krishna. It's April 16th, 2024. Today's the appearance day of Lord Ramachandra. And so actually in India, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra are probably at least as known and loved as the pastimes of Krishna, if not more. Actually, so here's our morning program. And later today, we'll be hosting an evening program in person and accessible online. Stay tuned to this channel. And so the afternoon evening program starts at 5 p.m. with Kirtan, and around 5:30, Naveen Krishna Prabhu he'll lead class and discussion. And it's he grew up in India, and he's going to talk about the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra that he's heard about probably since he's in the womb, since he's a child. And also, just like a week or two ago, Naveen visited Ayodhya. Like, there's the holy dhams, the holy places, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, and the holy dham most connected with the pastimes of Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman is Ayodhya. That's like the kingdom of Ram. So Naveen visited Ayodhya just a few days ago. So he's going to talk about that too at the program later today. So the Ramayan, that's actually it's in Vedic literature revealed by Valmiki, a great sage named Valmiki. Quite a story about Valmiki. I don't know if we'll go into it. We might. And so he gives the Ramayan. Now, the Ramayan is summarized in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, we know Srila Prabhupada gave us Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are some chapters in the 9th canto that kind of summarize the Ramayan, the Prabhupada translated and purported. And maybe we'll go there too. I think probably Naveen will read from some 9th canto Bhagavatam later today. I'd like for sure that we read, at least study apart and discuss, in Hawaii, March 27th, 1969, Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture on Ramachandra's appearance day. It was March 27th, 1969. The dates are different, like today's April 16th, because it's a lunar calendar, and here we're on solar calendar. So we'll hear something from Srila Prabhupada on Ramachandra's appearance day. So Ramachandra's like when we Prabhupada was asked when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Does the Rama refer to Balaram, Krishna's brother, or Lord Ramachandra? And Prabhupada essentially responded, both are good. We can be meditating on Ramachandra or Balaram for the Rama, and they're both true. They're both true. So Ramachandra is a Vishnu Tattva, perhaps the most known incarnation of Krishna. So all right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ganatimi Randasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Kadamayan Dadati Sva Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpata Yubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So I'll do one more invocation verse, which is appropriate on Lord Ramachandra's appearance day. This appears in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 7, text 96, and Prabhupada includes it right at the beginning of his introduction to Krishna book, which is his 10th canto. So Lord Chaitanya, when he would walk around, he was walking around India to all the holy places. Well, wherever he went is a holy place. Tirtha Kurvanti Tirtani. Maharaj Yudhisthira said to Vidura, wherever because Vidura was visiting the holy places, so Maharaj Yudhisthira said, wherever you go, that's a holy place. Tirtha Kurvanti Tirtani. So Lord Chaitanya was walking around, just thousands of miles, walking around India, and he was chanting. This is one of the mantras he was chanting, along with the Hare Krishna Maha mantra. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshamam. Krishna, 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 Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. So Raghava is a name for Ramachandra. Means the celebrated member of the Raghu dynasty. So we're reading from a Srila Prabhupada lecture. It starts with a kirtan, and then Prabhupada chants the Mangala Charita prayers, Vandeham Shri Guru Shutapanakam Kamalam. Then Prabhupada starts his lecture with a verse from the Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murti Shukalani Amena Tishtananavatara Nakarot Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Svayam Samabhavat Parama Pumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Prabhupada starts with that verse because it's a verse from the Brahma Samhita that directly mentions Ramachandra. The first word, Ramadi. That's Ramachandra. Ramadi Mortishu. Morti means form, the form of Ramachandra. So Prabhupada continues. This is a verse from Brahma Samhita in which the incarnation of Lord Ramachandra is described. Ramadi, not only Ram, but there are many other innumerable incarnations. They are compared with the waves of a river. As the waves of the river or the waves of the ocean cannot be counted, similarly, how many incarnations are there of the Supreme Lord? It is not possible to count. Prabhupada's referring there to the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto of Bhagavatam, that it lists about 25 incarnations, culminating in Ete Chamsakla Pumsa Krishna Stu Bhagavad Svayam. And then it describes that Krishna is not an incarnation. Krishna is the one who incarnates. He's the source of all incarnations. And then because it says, so we've listed about 24, but the incarnations, the expansions of Krishna are more innumerable than the waves in the sea, the waves in the river. It is not possible to count. But out of them, the principal names are mentioned in the Shastras. Therefore it is said, Ramadi. Ramadi means Ram and also other many incarnations, and they are existing. Not that one incarnation appeared and it is finished. No, not like that. Just like Lord Ramachandra appeared on this planet, say millions of years before. He appeared in the Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga means we have passed only 5,000 years of this age, Kali Yuga. Before that, there was Dvapara Yuga. Dvapara Yuga means 800,000 years. And before that, there was Treta Yuga, which continued for 1,200,000 years. That means at least 2 million years before Lord Ramachandra appeared on this planet. So now Lord Ramachandra appeared in Ayodhya. There is a place in Ayodhya in northern India. There he appeared, as Krishna appeared in Mathura. That is also northern India, and Mathura is about 90 miles down southward from New Delhi. You have heard the name of New Delhi, the capital of India. So Ayodhya is also situated about 500 miles northeast of New Delhi. So Lord Ramachandra appeared on this day. Today is called Sri Ram Navami. On the 9th day of the moon, Lord Ramachandra appeared. So Navami means it's the 9th day of the moon, like Krishna appeared on Janmashtami. Ashtami means the 8th day of the moon. We say next month will be Nrsimha Chaturdashi, the 14th day of the cycle of the moon. Okay, so Lord Ramachandra's father was the king of Ayodhya, and he had 3 wives. So he had 2 wives. So out of 2 wives, he got 4 sons. Ramachandra is the eldest son. The life and activities of Lord Ramachandra is described in a book which is called Ramayana. You have heard the name of Ramayana. Ramayana is also accepted as history. Vedic literatures are histories also. The Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, they are counted amongst the history. The history of Ramachandra is that his father wanted to retire. Dasarath, Maharaj Dasarath, and he decided to enthrone Lord Ramachandra and retire. So everything was settled. But just one day before, his youngest wife turned the whole thing into a different way. Sometimes Maharaj Dasarath was suffering from what is called whitlow, some trouble in the finger, and this queen served him very nicely, and he was pleased, and he said, "My dear Sarmishta, if you want some benediction from me, I can give you." And she replied that, "I shall ask you for the benediction when I require it, not now." So just one day before Lord Ramachandra's coronation, she approached her husband Maharaj Dasarath and reminded him, "My dear husband, you promised to give me some benediction, and I told you that I shall ask you when I require it." Maharaj Dasarath said, "Yes, I remember. You want some benediction just now?" She said, "Yes." "And what is that?" She said that Ramachandra cannot be seated on the throne. My son should be coronated, Bharat. He was surprised. It's a big demand. So he said, "Well, all right, that will be done, your son." Because formerly the kings, not only formerly, even up to date, there are many Kshatriya kings in India, they have more than one wife. And they are naturally, there is rivalry between different wives. So the same thing, human psychology is the same. Even 2 million years ago, the same mentality was there. And she asked that my son should be the king, not Ramachandra. Ramachandra happened to be the son of Kaushaya, the elder queen. So Maharaj Dasarath agreed and called for Ramachandra. "My dear boy, she asked also that she was very diplomatic. She wanted that Ramachandra go to forest for 14 years. The idea was political, that the king may agree to install my son just now. Now, after a few days, this Ramachandra may come with his army, and there may be some difficulty to continue the kingdom. So she wanted that Ramachandra should go to the forest, and he should not come back till the end of 14 years from this day." So Maharaj Dasarath agreed. Because he was Kshatriya, just see the promise. A Kshatriya never goes back from the promise, never refuses any challenge. If a Kshatriya is challenged by somebody that, "I want to fight with you," oh, he cannot refuse. This is Kshatriya spirit. He cannot say that, "I am now busy." Suppose somebody comes to you that, "I want to fight with you." You may say, "What nonsense fight? I have no time. We are in the temple." But a Kshatriya cannot deny that. A Kshatriya at once must accept. Oh yes, come on. And the weapon should be, if he has no sword or weapon, he should be supplied weapon and fight. This is Kshatriya spirit. They were highly charitable and chivalrous in keeping promise, and with a great tendency for ruling over. They shall rule over. Administrators, their business is. There are different prescriptions for different classes of people for their livelihood. The Brahmins, they can pull on their livelihood by 6 ways. Patana, patana, yajna, yajna, dana, pratigraha. 6. And they must be qualified with 12 high qualities. We have many times discussed. Out of that qualification, truthfulness is the first item for a Brahmin. A Kshatriya may speak lies. That is allowed because he has to be diplomat, politician. But a Brahmin, oh, he's not allowed to speak lie. This is the system, caste system or varnashram system. Everyone was trained because these 4 classes of people are required in a society. For proper upkeep of society, one class of person must be very intelligent, highly qualified with all good qualities. They must be trained in that way, ideal character, so that people can see and follow them. Therefore, Brahmins were taken to so much respect because their ideal character, learned and godly, knows the science, spiritual science. Therefore, they're held in high estimation and topmost of the society. The next, the administrative class, Kshatriyas. They are trained how to kill. The Kshatriyas were allowed to hunt in the forest to learn the art of killing because that was necessary. That was a necessity for the Kshatriyas. Kshatriya, if the king, if he finds somebody's doing wrong, he can immediately chop off his head if he likes. The king was so powerful. And it is not that if there were some war, it is not that the president or the king shall sit down comfortably at home and ordinary soldiers will go and lay down their life. No, formerly the king or the head of the state, he should first of all go there in the fight. You see in the picture, the chief men of the fighting in the Kurukshetra, both sides, they were arrayed, this side, that side, with their chariot. Not that the headman, the chief man, or the commander is taking shelter backside, protecting himself, and the poor soldiers are thrown into the fighting. No, these were Kshatriya spirit, and it is necessary that a class of men should be trained up in that way, Kshatriya, fighting men. In India, because this training was there since a very long time, so there's no difficulty in recruiting soldiers there. There's a class of men, they are very much forward in fighting still. They are called, just like the Gurkhas, the Nepalis, you have heard the name of Nepal, still a small state, independent state. They are not within India because China and India, the whole Nepal population, they are Kshatriyas. Oh, they are very good fighters. Similarly, the Sikhs, the Jatas, there are classes, so they're always forward for fighting. You'll be surprised that the British Empire was voluntarily liquidated because they lost India. The Britishers, they understood that because we are now losing India, there is no more possibility to keep our Eastern Empire. Therefore, they liquidated. Why? Actually, the whole British Empire were being administered or managed by Indian soldiers, these Sikhs and Gorkhas. They extended their empire. After taking their position with India, they extended British Empire in the Middle East and the Far East simply by these Sikhs and Gorkha soldiers. They got supremacy on the Burma and everywhere. So there is necessity of a class of fighting men. You are finding in your country difficulty in recruiting because the recruiting process is wrong. You are recruiting from persons. You are training persons just like Shudras, and you want them to fight. How they can fight, it is not possible. So as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, Lord Krishna said that the 4 classes or orders of the society, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, is planned by me according to work and quality. So this Kshatriya quality men is also required. The Brahmin quality of men is also required. The mercantile community, they're also required. And the laborer class, they're also required. Well, let's say, like we can see in that quote, in that verse of Bhagavad Gita that Prabhupada just quoted. So because of course the common conception is okay, like this India caste system, and someone's just stuck in their caste. And that's true, like it deserves to be criticized, like, oh, you're born into this family, so you're this. So that should be criticized, and actually what's come down in the name of the caste system is completely the opposite of what's there in Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita talks about the Varna system, Varnashram, Chaturvanyamaya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So Krishna makes it very clear, and Prabhupada's emphasizing here, that one's Varna, one's caste, one place in society, is based on one's um, guna, one's quality, one's karma, one's activity. It's not based, nowhere does it say it's based on janma, one's birth. So then as centuries and millennia went on to the current day, now it's like it's based on your birth. So that's completely not the Vedas, not what the Vedas say. And so it's based on quality and birth, quality and activity, guna and karma, not janma, not birth. So this is very key. Prabhupada's emphasizing this point. Chaturvanyamaya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha Tasyakataram Apimam Dijakataram Avyayam. So now, meaning that whatever families one's born in, whatever family, what's their quality, what's their activity, and that determines their place in society. So someone could be born in a Brahmin family, but if their quality is Sudra, then they're Sudra. If someone could be born in a family of dog eaters or cow killers, right? Pretty much everyone in the West is born into families of cow killers. But if their quality is that of intellectual, truly spiritual Brahmin, then they're a Brahmin. Then they act as Brahmin. So it's based on quality. Now, quality and activity. Now, say, but it's not that birth is unimportant. Let's just take in modern society. So let's say someone is born and both of their parents are surgeons, brain surgeons, okay, and their family going back many generations are physicians, and someone else is born into the ghetto. Maybe the father's not around, the father's like a drug dealer and the mother was prostitute, and just okay, like that. All right, now practically speaking, statistically speaking, the child born into the family of physicians and surgeons, statistically speaking, has a better chance to become a physician compared to the scenario of the child born into that very, very decadent, degraded, unfortunate situation in the ghetto. But at the same time, let's say the child born into the ghetto situation could live their life in such a way, and they have a particular intelligence, and they could go through the training, and they become a brain surgeon. And the child born into the family of the surgeons and the physicians could make certain choices and live their life in such a way, and they end up homeless on the street, addicted to drugs and eating out of the trash can. Right? So that could happen. It's not that, oh, you're born into a family of surgeons, so then at 5 years old, here's a scalpel, start performing surgery. No, you need to develop, you need to get the training, go through. So it's not that birth isn't important. Still, one's place in society is not determined intrinsically according to birth. So Prabhupada's explaining that here. Okay. Okay. So moving on. So Prabhupada continues. So Prabhupada talk about the Kshatriya, right? It's because for different, there's different types of regulative principles for the different sectors of society. It's interesting about the Kshatriyas because Kshatriyas it's like the Kshatriya would be like their word is bond. Their word is their bond. They give a promise. Maharaj Dasarath gave this promise. No, it's just like extremely. Actually, Maharaj, it was so painful for Maharaj Dasarath to keep that promise to his wife Kaikeyi. It was so painful. He actually died. He actually died from heartache to tell Ram to go to the forest. I mean, that as the like that. But the kshatriya keeps it. At the same time, Prabhupada says, in politics and business, there could be some untruth. Politicians might sometimes do that, and whereas a Brahmin just straight truth like that. So Prabhupada continues. So just see how the training was that a kshatriya cannot refuse his promise. So Maharaj Dasarath, he fulfilled the promise of his youngest wife and asked his son, eldest son, Ramachandra, my dear boy, you'll have to go to forest for 14 years. That is the desire of your youngest mother. And I promise that I shall fulfill her promise, her request. So please accept. Ramachandra said, yes, Father, I am ready. Just see, this is the quality. Out of the 6 opulences of God, this is one quality. Aishvaryasya samagrasya, viryasya yashasa shriya, jnana vairagya yoshchaiva, sanam bhagam itingana. How one becomes God. God is not manufactured by vote. There are definitions who is God. God must be the proprietor of all the riches. Aishvaryasya samagrasya. Samagra means all. Nobody can compete with him. Here in this world, material world, I am a rich man, and there is another rich man who can compete with me. There is another rich man who can compete with him. But nobody can compete with God in richness. That is one qualification of God. Nobody can say that I am richer than God. You can say, I am richer than Ford or Rockefeller or this or that. You can say, but nobody can say that I am richer than God. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Mata Parataram Nanya Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Mata Parataram Nanya Kinchid is Asti Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is the name of Arjuna, and Krishna said that, my dear Arjuna, there is nobody greater than me. So if anyone claims that he is God, he must prove by practical example that nobody is richer than him. That is the first. But unfortunately, we are accepting so many gods. A rascal in the street, he also claims that I am God. So similarly, the other qualification, nobody can be stronger than God. Nobody can be wiser than God. Nobody can be more beautiful than God. And nobody can be more renouncer than God. So here Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra exhibited the quality, how he renounced the whole kingdom simply on the order of his father, his obedience to his father. He could have argued with his father, my dear father, you simply for keeping your promise and actuated by the dictation of a woman, you are doing this. Let us stop it. Everyone is expecting that tomorrow my coronation will be there, and they love me so much because he, just like Krishna was so much love, similarly, Lord Ramachandra was the life of the people. They were very much expecting that Ramachandra was going to be enthroned tomorrow. So how they were celebrating, how they were decorating the whole city, everything. He never argued. He accepted immediately. Yes, Father, I am ready. So then one of the brothers, Lakshman, he also requested Ramachandra, my dear brother, you also take me. I am your constant companion. I must go with you. You can come with me. He said, I must go with you. So Ramachandra said, that's your wish. Voluntarily, if you wish to come, you can come with me to the forest. Then Sita, Ramachandra's wife, young wife, she also said, I'll go with you. Ramachandra requested his wife, oh, you cannot go with me. It is very difficult. You are a king's daughter and you are brought up in so nice way and you are so beautiful. You cannot go. You cannot take the trouble of living in the forest. So she said, oh, I am your wife, married wife. So I must go even if you go to hell. This is ideal wife. She could have refused. Oh, your father is ordered to go to the forest. You can go. I shall go to my father's house or I shall remain here. No, this is ideal wife. She must be prepared to accept any circumstances of the husband. Not that when the husband is rich, the wife is very faithful. And when he has come down to be poor or he's going to forest, the wife gives up his company. No, wife means better half. She must abide. Just like It is said, just like a shadow follows the reality, similarly, the wife is the shadow of the husband. Wherever the husband goes, she must go. Whatever the husband wants, she must carry out. Of course, in this country, this interpretation is taken differently. That wife is made a slave, but actually it is not so. When Sita was kidnapped in the jungle, Ramachandra expected that she was beautiful, she was young, and we shall be in open jungle. It may be some demons may come, and actually it so happened. So for Sita, Lord Ramachandra massacred the whole family of Ravana, only for Sita. So as the husband, so the wife was so faithful that she could not remain alone. She must accompany the husband even in the forest. And the husband was so faithful that, oh, my wife has been kidnapped. So he massacred the whole family of Ravana. So these are ideal history, how Lord Ramachandra appeared on this world to educate or to place ideal example of a king, how the king should be. Therefore, when there is good government, the example is given, Ram Raja. It is the kingdom of Lord Ram, because everyone was happy, everyone. There are so many instances in the life of Ramachandra. One Brahmin, not Brahmin exactly, somebody came to Ramachandra because at that time there was no court like this that you have to go to a court and apply with stamp fee. Then your judgment will be delivered after 6 years. It is not like that. Anyone who has got some complaint, he should. The king used to sit in the open audience, and the citizens were allowed to approach the king and place their complaints. Because there was no complaint practically, everyone was happy, very minor complaint. So somebody came to Ramachandra and he charged Ramachandra, my dear king, my son has died. How is that? In the presence of his father, son can die. There must be something wrong in your government. Just see. The charge is, why my son has died before my death. This is unnatural. So there was nothing unnatural. The king was responsible even for severe cold, severe heat that we get from history of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is stated. So the kings were so much responsible. They were always thinking of the happiness of the citizens, and the citizens were also so nice. One citizen approached Lord Ramachandra and his next assistant, his brother Lakshman, informed him that he is a Brahmin. You were absent on your tour for, I think, for a fortnight or a month, and this Brahmin has not eaten even a drop of water during your absence. Why? Because he comes here to see you, darshan, just like we come here in the temple to see the deity. So Lord Ramachandra was present personally. So he used to come after seeing Ramachandra offering his obeisances, then he would go home and take something, take his breakfast. That was his vow. And because he could not see for a fortnight or a month, Lord Ramachandra, because he was out on political tour, this Brahmin did not eat even. He just see. The citizens were similar to the king. So at that time, there was a statue of Ramachandra which was being worshipped in the family from Maharaj Ikshvaku. Maharaj Ikshvaku, the son of Manu, happens to be the forefather of the family in which Ramachandra appeared. So he was devotee of Lord Ramachandra, and he was a devotee of Lord Ram, and he was worshipping the statue of Lord Ram. So that statue was being worshipped by the family one after another. But when Ramachandra was actually present, he kept that statue in the closet of the room. And when this Brahmin approached and Ramachandra was informed by Lakshmi that he is so steady and strong in his vow, so Ramachandra ordered that he may be delivered that statue so that in my absence he can offer respect to the statue and do with this. That form, I mean to say, statue or archa of Ramachandra is still existing in South India. It is being worshipped from that time. So these were the dealings of Ramachandra. Then he, his younger brother Lakshman, and his wife went to the forest, and his wife was kidnapped by the diplomacy of the demon Ravana. And there was fight between Ram and Ravana. Ravana was very materialistically, he was very strong. But the thing is, for fighting with Ravana, Ramachandra did not come back to his kingdom and take his army. No, he did not come back because he was ordered to live in the forest. So he organized army with the jungle animals, the monkeys. The monkeys, he fought with Ravana and organized materialist with the monkeys. You have seen the picture. And he constructed a bridge between India's last point to the other side. Ceylon is considered to be the kingdom of Ravana. So there was a bridge and the stones were floating. So Um, so of course, in the modern historical interpretation, it was, still is considered, that's mythology. But then, was it maybe 10 years ago, with modern technology, they could actually take pictures of, like, what's under the ocean, and they actually saw this bridge between the southern tip of India and Sri Lanka and Ceylon, same thing. So, and there's no way, according to the modern conception of what the technology was, that anyone could build such a bridge. But there's the bridge. You could actually see photographs of it that verifies these pastimes of Ramachandra and the monkeys headed by Hanuman and Sugriva. So Srila Prabhupada, coming to the closure of his lecture now in Hawaii in 1969, March 27th. So Prabhupada says, so there are many historical incidences in the life of Ramachandra, and we should remember, because if we remember why we are observing today fasting for Ramachandra, there were many kings like Ramachandra, because the kings were trained in that way. Maharaj Yudhisthira was also as good as Ramachandra, and Maharaj Parikshit was as good. There were many such kings, but we are not concerned because he was a king. He is the king of all kings, Parameshwar, because he is God. Therefore, we are observing today Ramadi Murti Shukalani Mena Tishtan. So he is not original form of God. The original form of God is Krishna, and Krishna expands himself in various other forms. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Anantarupam. Anantarupam means millions and millions of the Manus. The Manu is also incarnation of Krishna. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So Brahma lives for 100 years. Just see how many incarnations of Manus are there, even for one Brahma. And there are innumerable Brahmas also. So as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that nobody can count how many incarnations are there. But some of the chief incarnations are mentioned, and Lord Ramachandra is one of them. So Lord Ramachandra, he killed Ravana, and he installed his brother. His brother was devotee, Vibhishan. So that relates to the point we were speaking about a few minutes ago. So you say, like, okay, you got this family of the demons, these very non-devotional race, Ravana, causing so much pain to everyone. So Vibhishan was born in the same family, same parents as Ravana. But Vibhishan, even though he's in that family, he was always a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. Okay, so that one's position, it's not determined by birth. It's determined what's the quality of one's heart and what's one's activity. So Vibhishan, great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, and they're in Lanka, in the same family as a brother of Ravana. And so Prabhupada goes on. So Ramachandra did not go to conquer Ceylon because he was emperor. He went to punish that culprit, Ravana, and he installed his younger brother, Vibhishan. And he came back with Sita, and again he was installed after 14 years. And his brother was so faithful that so long his eldest brother was away, Ramachandra requested him that your mother wants that you should be king, and I also wish that in my absence you should be king. Bharat, he was so faithful brother, he replied, no, you are king. So long you are living, nobody can be king. So I cannot be king. Then he requested, at least you administer. Because after the departure of Lord Ramachandra, Maharaj Dasarath died out of the shock. So Maharaj Dasarath, he kept his promise to Kaikeyi, but he kept his promise to send Ramachandra to the forest. But it was so painful for him, he actually died of heartbreak. Maharaj Dasarath died out of the shock because Ramachandra was very pet son, eldest son. He was going to be king, and by his order, he was sent to the forest. The father could not tolerate the shock. He died. So just some comments. So there was a lot of envy and jealousy in the heart of the youngest wife, Kaikeyi, and she made that request, and Maharaj Dasarath fulfilled that. But Bharat, Kaikeyi's son, the son of the youngest wife, Bharat, he wasn't like, oh, now I get to be king. He felt terrible about the whole thing. He felt terrible. But then Lord Ramachandra encouraged, no, if you don't want to call yourself king, okay, but at least you administrate the kingdom. And so Lord Bharati, yeah, he's the brother of Ramachandra, and he's a great devotee of Ramachandra. He didn't have any of those material ambitions. So in the last paragraph of this lecture, Srila Prabhupada says, so Ramachandra's life, God's activities, pastimes, if we hear, that means we are associating with Ramachandra. And again, Srila Prabhupada, well, the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly like ninth canto chapters 10 to 12 describe pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, very possibly at this evening's program when Naveen Krishna leads the class and discussion. We'll discuss parts of that. I mentioned earlier, Naveen is going to talk about hearing about Lord Ramachandra from the time he's a child, and also his recent visit to Ayodhya, which is the kingdom of Lord Ram. So Prabhupada closes with, if we hear, that means we are associating with Ramachandra. There is no difference between his form, his name, his pastimes, and himself. He's absolute. Therefore, either you chant the holy name of Ram, or you see the statue of Ram, or you talk of his pastimes, transcendental pastimes, everything. That means you are associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we take advantage of these days when the incarnation of God appears or disappears, and we try to associate with him. By his association, we become purified. Our process is purification. Krishna consciousness means simply we are purifying our consciousness. From the birth, as I have explained, everyone is Shudra. Shudra means one who laments. That is called Shudra. For a slight loss or slight inconvenience, one who laments, he is called Shudra. And Brahmin means one who tolerates. A Shudra has no toleration. So Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Kalar means this age is called Kali. So it is the statement of the Shastras that in this age, the whole population is Shudra. And formerly also by his birth, everyone was considered Shudra, but there was training, samskar. At the present moment, there is no samskar, there is no training. The training is only for earning livelihood. No other training. How can one earn money and enjoy senses? That is the training at the present moment. But actually, to make successful the human life or the mission of human life, the Vedic culture is very nice. And by spreading Krishna consciousness, by adopting the process of Krishna consciousness, you can revive that cultural life, sublime life. If not wholesale, if there are a few people trained up in this line and they become ideal examples to the society, immense benefit can be derived from their examples of life. Hare Krishna. Thank you for hearing Srila Prabhupada giving us Lord Ramachandra's association through this lecture in 1969 in Hawaii. Hare Krishna. If anyone would like to share any comments or ask any questions at this time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just want to thank you. I'm always amazed that I always love to hear that story again and again. I always hope maybe it's because I knew the story before and it just, it's there hopefully for me to keep, I don't know, advancing. So I love the story. But I love that you added that fact about that bridge being in the ocean between Sri Lanka, and what was the other place?
South India. I think it's called Cape Comorin, or it's called
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Setubanda.
I love.
Set-
Oh, okay.
Setubanda. It's in the southern tip of India.
Nice. So yeah, I always love facts like that. That's just makes it just, I don't know. I just love that. So thank you for adding that. I didn't know that. So just thank you for the whole reading. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing that, Ken. Yeah, there's more and more as with archaeology. It's actually modern archaeology is coming with more and more validation of what the Vedas and the Ramayana are saying, even though it's contrary to modern scientific theories. The evidence clearly supports the Vedas. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and thank you. You said like these pastimes of Lord Ram. Uh, that's it. They're yes. Thank you, Valerie. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I mean, there's just billions of people are just have so much love for the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, which is an indication that they're not material. People hear them again and again and again. Thank you, Kim. Any other comments or questions? Sitaram, Anandini.
Yes, Hare Krishna. I joined later. I just got back from work and I'm having my lunch. But I was very soothing to dive into what you were sharing about Ramachandra after being in a different environment. And
Yes.
like recently in my family, we have a lot of discussions about what's the responsibility, what's the ideal form of a state. Is it democracy or is it? So my daughter Anuk, she's researching all the different monarchy and just the different types of how to structure a country and how to lead a population. And this point that the rulers, the king, the president, the head of the state, they're responsible for so many things. And I think, I guess most people who are in leading positions, they have no idea about the broadness of their responsibility. Like right now we have heavy storms in Switzerland and trees are crashing and like according to Srimad Bhagavatam, like an ideal rulers could avoid storms. And that's what I was hearing from your reading and what I understand from Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's something that's really present in my mind in the last days or weeks. Yeah, just this lack of knowledge, lack of interest. What does it actually mean to be in a leading position? What does it mean for everyone who's under the care of that leaders? And then the other side of, if people would get open to hear, if they would just start to hear, then I guess many wouldn't even take this position, and then it's good. And those who take it, they have an understanding of what they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing.
Thanks for that, Anandini. So in your family, from different generations of your family are in these discussions now, forms of government. And when Prabhupada talks about government and spiritually based politics, he references Lord Ramachandra and Ram Rajya so much, and that's where Prabhupada went in the lecture. That now the idea of leaders is like, I promise you more sense gratification. Elect me, and you'll get more. You get more money and more sense gratification, and that's basically what it's about. And then it's misleadership, and people just go more and more into the hell of the oblivion and ignorance and suffering, because there's no dharmic, even sattvic, what to speak of true transcendental leadership.
Yeah, and then it becomes so catastrophic. Like the whole consciousness, and it's all about avoiding avoiding. It's a whole big game of suppressing grudges and just trying to survive somehow, and with each effort there's more suffering. Yeah.
I appreciate where you're going with the discussion, because it shows, because like it shows Prabhupada's vision. Because yeah, we can talk about the misleadership and the foolishness and the ignorance and the greed and the corruption. Okay, and that needs to be exposed. At the same time, also, and then there's the positive, and the positive, like, oh yeah, now, to the extent that the leaders, present, future, could cultivate this real knowledge in the line of Ramachandra and Srila Prabhupada. Okay, then how society would transform. And Prabhupada talks about this so much, the dharmic, sattvic, transcendental politics, leadership, governance, which means that Srila Prabhupada's vision is, sure, individual consciousness, we're not to look at our own greed and lust, sure, individual, yes, and Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada's vision is also establishing social, political, economic, government structures on a national and planetary basis for giving Krishna consciousness. We can see that's part of Prabhupada's vision, clearly.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Anandi. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Thank you all. Lord Ramachandra ki jai. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.